All right, y'all. I'm back with another recap on what? Insecure. Yes. All right, we on season 2, episode 5. Hella shook. Okay. All right, so it opens up. Issa goes over to Daniel's house. She's knocking on the door. She's like trying to play with him, like, you got a package. And he's like, I got a gun. She's like, it's Issa. It's Issa. Open the damn door. So he opens the door or whatever. Then they start kissing. So I'm guessing at this point, Daniel and Issa, they done decided to say the hell with it. And they just got back together. So they back together at this point. I mean, hell, I guess after Molly told her Lawrence wasn't trying to have her back, it's like, I might as well get back with Daniel. It's familiar territory. It's not like she doesn't, you know what I'm saying? They got history. And hell, I mean, she might as well. He's like the reason why her and Lawrence broke up. So she goes in there, they get it on, they get it popping, they smash or whatever. And then, she's getting ready to leave. He's laying there on the bed just watching TV and she's getting dressed. He's like, oh, you about to leave? She like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, make a run or whatever. He's like, oh, okay. So they start hugging and stuff. And, she's like, what you about to go do? He's like, I'm about to go get something to eat. Just small conversation or whatever. So Lawrence goes jogging with his new coworkers. He got that job in his field or whatever. He's no longer at Best Buy. He's working in his field. So he goes jogging with them, and then he makes a phone call to check and see if he has jury duty. So they're just kind of talking or whatever, and yeah. So Issa and Molly are preparing, the flowers for Molly's parents' vow renewal ceremony that they're going to have at their house. So while they're sitting there preparing the flowers, Issa is basically showing Molly admiration for her parents. Like, oh, your parents are just so cute, because they've been married for a long time. So Issa's like, no. So Molly's like, you can come if you want to. You sure you don't want to come? Issa's like, no, I'm cool. I'm cool. Yeah, I got this thing going on at work, whatever. So while they're standing there talking, Issa gets a text from Daniel. And he's like, yo, you want to get up later on? So she smiles and she starts texting him back. So Molly's like, who is that? So she's like, oh, it's just Daniel, trying to play it off like, yeah, it's just Daniel. So Molly's like, oh, y'all cool now? Y'all cool again? So Issa's like, yeah, we're cool. We had history, whatever. So basically, Issa ended up telling Molly, like, look, we friends that fuck. Because Issa's thing is right now, Issa's trying to be on this whole no feelings thing. She's trying to be on her hoe kick or whatever. She's trying to be a hoe. So she's trying to just have no feelings or whatever. She's trying to basically she's trying to know the feeling of dealing with guys without having any attachment. But truth be told, I don't think that's going to fly with Daniel because y'all have history. You can't go back to somebody that you was once in love with and just mess around with them and think that you're not going to catch feelings again. Or really, you might still got some feelings deep down, but you're trying to suppress them or whatever for whatever reason because you was in a relationship with Lawrence. But I just feel like she's trying to, have this whole phase going on, and I ain't mad at her, but it's just I don't think that's gonna fly with Daniel, because they've been there, and I think Daniel hurt her, in their relationship. So now I think Daniel's actually wanting to make it right with her. I think Daniel's really into this thing with her. So anyway, but I'll touch back on that again a little bit later in this recap. So Lawrence found out he does in fact have jury duty. So he's sitting up in jury duty and he can't even concentrate. He done went over to, because it's so boring, he done went to Kelly's page, Issa's friend Kelly. He done went to her Facebook page and he's scrolling through her timeline and he spots a picture of Issa and Daniel. He spots a picture of them, all of them hanging out. It's, the last episode where they were all hanging out at that little cafe or whatever it was at eating. And he spots Issa and Daniel in the background. And it's like, oh my gosh. What? She hanging out with this fool? The same fool she cheated on me with? So he's like, he can't even focus on jury duty because now he's worried about them. He's like, what in the hell? Meanwhile, Molly's at her parents' house getting the flowers for their vow renewal ceremony. She's getting the flowers out the trunk of her car. So Dro walks up behind her like, hey, because his mom only lived right across the street. So she's like, oh, what you doing here so early? And he said something about he came last night or something. but he wanted to be there early. But he also wanted to come and talk to her because he know on the last episode he sprung a lot on her. You know, when he told her that him and what's his Candace, him and Candace has an open marriage, and that was a lot for Molly because Molly like, whoa. And when I tell y'all this show is so real, it's almost like Issa be sitting, Issa like as the writer, I'd be like, damn, is she sitting in a conversation with me and my friends? Because I had a conversation like that with a guy that I know where he's in an open, him and his wife have an open marriage. And I responded just like Molly, I was shocked because he too was a childhood friend of mine. And I was just shocked, like, what? Y'all have an open marriage? Really? So, I mean, that's why when I say this show is so real, it's so relatable. I think the word relatable is what I really want to use. It is real, but it's more relatable than anything. And now I didn't respond the way she responded in the end, but I'm gonna get to that. Okay. He's like, I wanted to talk to you, make sure we good. I know that was a lot, you know what I mean? And she's like, oh yeah, we good, we good. He's like, well, I mean, have you ever thought about us in that way? She's like, I mean, she's joking around with it, but she's for real. She's like, I mean, I did when you had your color contacts, but I mean, have you took them out? I was like, But, she was like, I mean, yeah, I have thought about us in that way, but I mean, you're married. You're married, open relationship or not, you're married. So he like, oh, okay, that's cool. He looked like he was a little disappointed, but whatever. So he's like, but no matter what, just know we'll always be good. You know what I mean? She's like, okay, cool. So, they carried on, their normal conversation or whatever. Now, Lawrence is sitting on jury duty, still scrolling on Facebook. He can't concentrate. So he gets dismissed from jury duty. They like, juror number 3, you are dismissed. He's so into Facebook. He on Daniel's page, stalking Daniel's Facebook page now that he done seen him and Issa together. So he's on Daniel's page, stalking his page. The judge done dismissed him off jury duty. He ain't paying no attention. So then he finally gets it together. Like, oh, okay. So then he leaves or whatever. He walks out of the courtroom or whatever. Issa meets up with her date, this guy named Nico that she met off Tinder. Now, like I said, y'all know Issa is on her, just her rotation where she just want to have dudes in rotation because she ain't trying to have feelings for not a dude, okay? She meets up with Nico. He seems nice. They meet up. Issa's hoping to get laid. They meet up for drinks. Issa's hoping to get laid afterwards or whatever. But once the clock struck 12, Nico's like, oh, look at the time. I gotta go. They done laugh. They done drink. Now it's late. I think Nico got a wife, whatever. But now he's ready to go. When she first met up with him, she was supposed to meet up with Daniel. Daniel texted her like, hey, come through. She told him like, nah, I can't. I can't or whatever. Because she was meeting up with Nico. So I think also Issa tries to be careful with Daniel because she knows that it's not going to be hard for her to really get back into those deep feelings for Daniel. She knows that. Anyway, so she tells Daniel she can't meet up with him. Instead, she meets up with Nico. Like I said, hoping to get laid afterwards. When the clock struck 12, Nico's like, oh, would you look at the time? I got to go. Issa's like, I'm not tired. We can still hang out. He's like, oh, I would love to, but I got to go. Whatever. I think he said he had to do something business related in the morning, whatever. So she's like, okay. Feeling stupid because she could have been over there with Daniel getting smashed or whatever, but she done canceled out on him for this fool. So the next day, she texts Daniel. She's sorry she missed him, but he's like, you can make it up to me tonight. You know what I'm saying? She got that look on her face like, cool. So now we have to see that Molly's parents' vow renewal, okay? So Molly has her friend Lionel there. He's an older guy. But he's a guy that Molly's not really feeling. I don't understand why she's not feeling him because it seemed like he'd be a good guy for her. But Molly reminds me of Mary Jane. That's another one of my shows that I have to watch. That's my show, Being Mary Jane. Molly reminds me of Mary Jane, okay? She likes men who are not really available to her. And she likes to make things difficult. The guy that's available to her and that will really treat her right, she don't want them. So Lionel's at the vow renewal with her, which I don't even understand. I don't even understand why he's there because it's not like she's into him like that. She introduces the two. She's like, hey, this is, Dro, whatever. But whatever. She introduces them. It's kind of awkward or whatever. So Tiffany's husband, I think his name is Sean. Him and Lawrence are having drinks. And Lawrence is going through the whole spiel, like, what was Issa cheating on me all this time? Was she playing games with me all this time? I can't believe she's kicking it back with Daniel. Like, what is up? So, Sean is listening. He's like, no, he's like, really real talk though. Lawrence, for real, like this is all of this is not on Issa, because he's like, oh, so you saying it's okay for her and go to her for her to go and fuck somebody else? He's like, no, but you made it easy for her to want to go do. You sat on her couch for 2 years and you really didn't do much. So you made it desirable for her to go want to be with another man, especially another man that got some business about himself. So that made Lawrence kind of think like, So meanwhile, back at Molly's parents' vow renewal party, her brother's having a conversation with her. And he's like, you're not feeling this guy. Why are you even with him? Talking about Lionel. And she's like, well, if I want what mom and dad have, I better just start. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's the guy that can give that to me. Molly's stuck on having this perfect relationship or this perfect marriage because she thinks that's what her parents have. So she wants that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting true love and to be married for years and years and years and to grow old together and all that good stuff, raise a family together and all that good stuff. But baby girl, you have got to know you're not gonna see no couple married for no 35 years and know that and not believe that they ain't went through no shit to get to those 35 years, honey. You better wake your little self up and stop being so naive. So her brother, as far as I'm concerned, he hit her with some real shit. He was like, even if you do find a dude, you know what I'm saying, a good dude, you might not have what mom and dad had. And what Molly needs to understand is that what her parents had her parents, their generation compared to our generation now, is totally different. The way things were back then and the way things are now is just totally different. You may not find a man that's like your dad. You may not. I mean, he may be a good man for you, but he may not be just like your dad. It's like to me, Molly's not being realistic. She's not. So Issa's bored in the bathroom taking titty pictures for the old boy. The boy with the wop head, his big ass wop head. That boy got a big old head. Oh my God. So she's taking a picture with her. She's taking a titty pic or whatever. Then her coworker come in. She's like, oh, just screening for cancer. She's so stupid. Her coworker like, gross. So back at the vow renewal party. So Molly walks up to her aunts or whatever. It's 3 of them or whatever. They talking. So you know how older women got to be. I'm not being funny. Shade or no shade. I'm not being funny. But honey, sometimes them older women be the most gossipy women. And everybody got one of those in the family or a couple of them. So she goes over to them and they're like, oh, we see you brought a man. They're talking to her. And she's like, oh, they're complimenting her mother and father's the fact that they've been married for 35 years, and that's who they're there to celebrate. So her aunt, which is her mother's sister, was like, I'm surprised they made it 35 years, honey, because I didn't think they was gonna make it 5 years. And the other aunt was like, look, like, stop that. And then she was like, are you kidding? What he put my sister through? And so basically they gave Molly some tea that her father has cheated on her mother before. Molly was devastated by this, honey. Like, it just rocked her whole world. I mean, it rocked her whole world. Meanwhile, Issa's driving, looking at a dick pic, and she crashes into the back of a car. So she has to call Daniel and tell him, like, look, I'm not going to be able to come. I didn't want you to think I ghosted on you, but I just got into an accident. Daniel's like, well, where you at? So he goes to get her. And I really like how Daniel was Johnny on the spot like that for her. I really like that because Daniel really cares about Issa, y'all. I actually want to see her with Daniel. I really do. I like her with him. When Daniel gets to the location and, they're sitting there talking, Issa makes it her business to tell him, hey, we're cool, right? You're seeing other people and I'm seeing other people, right? I mean, I just want to be on the same page from the beginning. Daniel agrees, but you can tell he got this look on his face like, okay, yeah, you're right. But you could tell he's not seeing nobody else. He is just seeing her, but he didn't want to look stupid. And I don't think Issa should have did that. I understand she's trying to be on this no feeling thing, but sometimes you just can't control your feelings. All right, so we get to the honey, the biggest part of the damn night. All right, so Molly confronts her parents. She's in the kitchen going off. Basically after she heard what she heard from her aunt, after they told her that basically her dad had cheated on her mom at one point, she goes in the kitchen and she's talking to her brother. And she confirms with her brother, like, is it true? So dad cheated on mom, and he's like, yeah. So she just starts flipping out, like, what? I mean, what? Fuck this whole thing. Fuck this whole ceremony. Fuck this fake ass shit. Blah, blah, blah. Just F it all. So she's upset. So her parents come in there like, why are you raising your voice like this? So she's like, Dad, how could you cheat on mom? So they looking like, they done got over it. It was years ago. They done got past it, and here they are renewing their vows after 35 years. Molly, why are you bringing this up? So his mom's like, look, it was a long time ago. He made a mistake, but he has made up for it. Child, let it go. So Molly gets mad. She storms out like, I can't do this. I just feel like Molly overacted. She overreacted. It's not that serious, baby. You are being very naive. Like I said, if you want to see yourself be in a long-term marriage like that, you better know you're going to go through some stuff. And one of those things might be infidelity. I'm not saying everybody has to go through infidelity, but I'm just saying, just know, like, who her parents are not perfect. They're people. That's her fault that she never paid attention, maybe growing up as a child, that she didn't know certain things that was going on with her parents. I mean, but I know sometimes some parents can keep things from their children. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like she overreacted. She was being a bit naive, and it just wasn't that serious. I mean, my gosh, the fact that they're there 35 years later renewing their vows should have been basically a testimony to her. Like, you know what? My parents are not perfect, but you know what? They worked through their issue. Whatever the issue was, they worked through it. Because here we are 35 years later, and they are happy. That's it. So anyway, she storms out the house, and her friend Lionel's looking like, he wants to go talk to her, but then, she just walks straight past him and ignores him. And I didn't like how she did that, because he was really trying to ask her, like, are you okay? She just walked straight past him. So then Dro, like, oh, I got it. I'll go get it. I'll go get it. So, he was happy to go, go after her, whatever, which I can understand. All that is his friend. So they go. He drives her home or whatever. She's in the car talking to him, and she's venting like, I just can't believe I feel so stupid. Here I am looking for a dude that's like my dad, and I see my parents, they not even all the way together. Their marriage is effed up. Their marriage is not effed up, Molly. They're just people. Their marriage is marriage. Okay? You go through your ups and your downs in marriage. That is the rhythm of marriage. Anybody who think they're going to go into a marriage and have happy, happy, happy all the time, you are sadly mistaken, and you're going to get a rude awakening. But anyway, so, Dro's trying to talk to her like, I understand or whatever. Then she almost snapped on him like, why are you defending my dad? And he's like, I'm not. I'm just, he don't really know what to say at this point. So he walks her to her door. They get to her house. He walks her to her door. And she's like, how you going to get back home? He's like, I'll call a Lyft or something like that, because they drove her car. He drove her car. So, next thing you know, he's about to walk away. Molly grabs him and pulls him back in, honey. Next thing we know, they getting it in, honey. Dro is tearing it up, okay? And Molly was liking it. I guess she said, to hell with it. If marriage ain't perfect, I ain't about to worry about nobody else's marriage. Now, some say that Molly was being a hypocrite, because here she was just throwing a big old hissy fit about her dad not being faithful. And then she is going to sleep with a married man. Well, here's my thing. I think to some extent, yes, there was a little bit of hypocrisy there. However, the fact that having sex with other people is actually allowed in Dro's union, as far as we know, because we have not seen Candace on here since Dro told Molly that their union was open. He might have just been saying that. We don't know. We got to see what Candace's reaction is going to be to all this. But whatever. But in that very moment, no, Candace did not know that he was sleeping with Molly. But I think that because it is allowed in their union, in him and Candace's union, I don't really think it'll be a big deal. Now Molly got to take the responsibility now that she's messing with a married man. I'm just curious to see how all this is gonna play out. This again, this is my show. I can't, like I said, I tell y'all all the time, this is my show. I really love this show. It's realistic and it's all that. Okay. So anyway, that was pretty much it. That was my recap. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Till next time, this is Miss Marcy. Peace.